several points, several concepts. You can screen those points in your PowerPoint presentation the way I am doing right now, and can give a professional touch to it. You can new slide projectors are highly flexible. You can have several varieties like insert and animations. You can always go for tables, charts, diagrams, graphs. Everything is available on a PowerPoint presentation. Now the types of visual aids are done. We are done with types of visual aids. The next one is how to use them effectively. We got familiar with the definition of visual aid. We also got familiar with the importance of using it, the purpose of using visual aids. We also discussed types of visual aids. Now we must learn how we can use all these types of visual aids effectively. Number one is, when we talk of effective use of visual aids, number one is we have to decide an appropriate visual for our presentation. For an example, if you want to show some progress in one aspect of your organization, of your business organization, then you can go for line chart where only one aspect is covered. If you want to talk of comparing data, then you can go for column chart or pie chart or bar chart. Plan explanatory visuals. You have decided your visual, you have selected some visual out of several available to you. Then you have to explain your visuals. You describe the text, you are discussing the text, and you are to support the text, you are using a particular visual. That visual has to be very explanatory in its sense. If you are unable to explain, if you are just showing the visual, it doesn't serve the purpose. The next we have is explain them effectively. As I have just said, use them with discretion. Like we use visual aids initially, we explain the stuff with the help of visual aids. Then we have to remember one thing, we have to consider one thing, that we are using visual aids to reinforce the main ideas. Now at the end of the session, when you happen to revise, when you happen to give a recap or revision to your learners, at that time also you can use the same visual aid and you can remind them of that this is what they have learned. The next one we have is use them with discretion. We have done. Then the last one is demonstrating something which is very easy to understand. We have been talking about demonstrating things by using visual aids. There are general tips we have to ponder over. While using the visual aid, you being a presenter, being a communicator, being a teacher, you should not keep on looking at the visual aid yourself. You are using visual aids for your learners, so let them watch it. You are not watching it yourself. You have to look at the audience, you have to describe and demonstrate it. At the time you are facing your audience. If you are not facing, for an example, you are using a whiteboard, you are writing something on the board. At that time you are not facing your audience, so don't speak while writing something on the board. Once the writing is done, when you are facing the audience, then talk, because there are chances that your voice might not be audible till the last bench. The next is general tips. Talking further about general tips is use color. As I already said, if you are using pie chart, bar chart, column charts, if you are using, then you, even with flip charts, you can use different colors to highlight different aspects of information. The next we have is keep hidden. Now let your visual aids be in the hidden part. you can disclose your visual aid at the time of using it. Don't disclose it in the beginning, otherwise your learners pay attention to watch it. They won't pay attention to what you are saying, to what you are speaking. So their attention is diverted, their mind is diverted. So you just disclose the visual aid at the time of using it and not before that. The next we have is show once then remove. If you have used visual aid once and then you remove it or you put it aside if you are going to use it again, but once shown, then you have to put it aside, or if something is written on the board, you have to remove it, you have to wipe it out. Otherwise the students again, the learners again would keep on looking at what you have written, or would be busy watching what you are showing them, and the next point which you are discussing, which you are describing, they'll skip that. Their minds again are still stuck to the visual aids you have already shown and which is of no use now. If you are using it later on, then you can put it aside and can use it at the end of the session for revision or recap. The next we have in general tips is make sure the audience can see. You are coming with beautiful visual aids, very interesting, very attractive, but what if your students cannot see that properly? You've got a class of 100 learners, 100 students, and the things, the stuff you are coming with are not tangible till the bench. For an example, I am using this PowerPoint presentation. I prepared slides. If the size of the fonts is not big enough, then the students cannot see that properly, they cannot read them properly, and it doesn't serve any purpose. It's not an effective use of audiovisual aids. Well, concluding the session, I would like to quote a statement by Paul Martin Lester. He says, something is happening. I quote, something is happening. We are becoming a visually mediated society. For many, understanding of the word is being accomplished, not through words but by reading images. Now some or the other thing is happening in the world, and we are becoming a visually mediated society. That is what Martin believes. And for many of us, understanding of the world or understanding of the happenings in the world is being accomplished not through words, not through hearing, but by reading images. That means but through seeing and not through hearing. So you can see the shift from hearing to seeing, the shift from verbal to visuals. Let's go to the next slide. What is there? And that's the title of a book I have gathered. Effective Communication Skills. Never be stuck for words ever again. If you want to adopt, if you want to implement, if you want to learn, if you want to be good in, or if you want to have good command over effective communication skills, then you should not merely stuck to the words. You can always go for something beyond verbal, and something beyond verbal is visuals. I've got assignments for you students. You have to prepare a talk on the procedure adopted, problems faced, and the advantages accrued from computerization. Let me clarify your assignment. Supposing, take it for granted for a while, that you are a finance minister of a public limited company, and entire procedure, entire system in your organization is recently computerized, and you are asked to prepare a presentation on the procedure adopted for computerizing the entire system, and the problems you've come across, and the advantages accrued from the computerization process. You have to prepare a presentation on this, and your assignment is what kind of visual aids you will use. You have to describe and how you are going to use them and why you are selecting particular visual aids. You have to prepare an assignment on this. You can select either of the two assignments. I have got the other one also for you. An introductory lecture on principles and process of communication. Supposing you are a guest speaker, you are invited to deliver a lecture on the principles and process of communication, and you are asked to use whiteboards or green boards or blackboards, whatever available in the room. Then what kind of information, what are the points you would be writing down on the boards, and how you would be using whiteboards available to you so far as your lecture on principles and process of communication is concerned. These are the two assignments for the learners watching me here, and you can pick up either of the two assignments and can prepare it. I extend my sincere thanks to all the learners and teachers, and if you have got any queries, your questions are invited. I invite you for the questions. If you have got any, friends, let your doubts be clarified. Can I invite you for the questions? Okay, thank you friends. Have a good day.